changes soon. Can get a doobie on a plane, but there's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me too. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42.
Welcome to the Red Pill Sports and Entertainment Show. I am your host, Albert Apache, and as usual brought to you by Open Source Self-Defense, Fitness, and Grappling. Okay guys, we're going to get into this show as quick as we can. There has been some news breaking on the Deshawn Watson case. It's been breaking over about the last day or so, and I think this is really important to talk about going into the weekend because some things may change very quickly. Now, please remember, like, subscribe, share the content, comment down below. Really helps me out. And we really want to get to that 1,000 subscribers to do some fun stuff with going live on mobile. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Quiet in the Deshawn Watson litigation for nearly 3 weeks. I firmly believed it was quiet because the lawyers were talking about a potential settlement, and it's come to light in the past couple of days that that's exactly what's gone on. Tony Buzbee took the initiative. He's the person who represents the 22 women who are suing Deshawn Watson. Buzbee said the other night to Mark Berman of Fox 26 in Houston, the settlement is not happening.
So Tony Buzbee came out swinging, made it sound as though he was going to hold Deshawn Watson and his legal team's feet to the fire, declaring that they were not going to settle, as if they had Deshawn Watson dead to rights. They knew that they were going to go to court and win a significant victory in the civil court. Now, if you would have only read what Tony Buzbee had put out, you would believe that. But to Rusty Hardin's credit, he came out and gave a statement and absolutely nuked Tony Buzbee. Listen up.
He had more things to say, including that his clients believe that the NFL's investigative process is not showing them due respect. The NFL responded to that in a statement yesterday. You can find that at PFT. Obviously, the NFL believes it's handling everything properly as it tries to investigate these claims. But I think the most significant development, Miles, came yesterday when Rusty Hardin, who represents Deshawn Watson, had this to say. In a recent interview, Mr. Buzbee stated that a settlement is not happening. We certainly agree that there are currently no settlement negotiations being conducted. While we have never approached Mr. Buzbee about a settlement, he has approached us on numerous occasions in the past about the possibility of a settlement. We have made clear all along that there would be no settlement unless the terms are made public and all participants are allowed to speak in their own defense at all times. We want none of the participants, the plaintiffs or Mr. Watson, muzzled by a settlement agreement. Mr. Buzbee does not feel the same.
Okay, so now we're going to hear an opinion on what this means. This is very close to my own opinion. And I feel very emboldened that now this is going to start to gain traction within the mainstream media. Now, for my part, all I've ever done is assumed that Deshawn was innocent until proven guilty. I believe that, yes, in fact, the alleged victims may feel victimized. However, we cannot go forward in the court of public opinion anymore just assuming that a man is guilty simply because accusations come in volume or because they come frequently. It does not matter. You have to look at what the storyline is, what the evidence is, what kind of physical evidence is there. Now, let's go ahead and listen up to this opinion on what this means.
Here's what this means. This means that if this is accurate, and I've yet to see Tony Buzbee's possibly inevitable response, but if this is accurate, this turns the typical practice on its head. Usually, when you're the one who's writing the check, part of what you're paying for is the confidentiality, because you don't want people running around saying this guy's giving out free money, this company's giving out free money. All you got to do is file a lawsuit and you're getting yourself a lottery ticket. You want it secret. You want it quiet. You want it confidential. In this case, based on Hardin's statement, Hardin and Watson want to be able to say, look at how little we paid. That tells you these claims had no merit. Busby wants it to be quiet because what happens is if it's quiet, people are going to assume big checks being written by Deshawn Watson. So, again, Busby may dispute everything Hardin said, Miles, but this is so dramatically different than the normal case. And, hey, kudos to Hardin for putting it all out there. I mean, that's an aggressive move, and he's been very aggressive in his defense of Deshawn Watson. That's very aggressive to put that out there, and it speaks to a level of confidence they have in their case if it's true that the amounts that have been discussed are so small, they'd have no problem letting the world know what they are.
So, not only do I believe that the amount would be small, but I also believe that within their case, I believe Rusty Hardin has either evidence or documentation which would eliminate a large number of these cases. So, for instance, right now, one of the things that's emboldening Tony Busby is the number of 22. That there are 22 alleged victims. I think that Hardin and Deshawn Watson, his legal team, have enough evidence, have enough documentation to where you could throw out a big chunk of that number. That would go on further to also vindicate Deshawn Watson, right? Because if all of a sudden you went from 22 victims to where now the settlement ends up being for only, let's say, 6 victims. Now the whole storyline, the whole narrative which Tony Busby has built his case on in the court of public opinion falls apart. It literally starts to fall apart. Not only that, but I feel like other things would come to light in regards to whether or not these encounters were consensual. And then lastly, the one that I continue to come back to, because I really believe that if this goes forward, this will come out, is that this was about prostitution. And I think Deshawn is okay with people knowing, hey man, I was locked up in my house for over a year. I'm a young guy. I'm used to going to the club, getting hookups, and I just, I had to do what I had to do. And now they're trying to blackmail me over it. And I think we've come to a point in our society, in our culture, where the red pill is starting to make enough of an impact on society that people would understand. Maybe they'll still be harshly judged, but they would understand that and they would accept that. But these are the types of things that I think that Hardin has documentation to back up and to prove, and the reason why they are being so bold. So we'll try and keep an eye on the Twitterverse to see if anything breaks out of Tony Busby's mouth. But so far, this looks like Deshawn Watson, Rusty Hardin, they have turned the tide in this case. And I still don't think that Deshawn will be on the field anytime soon. But this does start to look like Deshawn will be back in football probably middle of the season, maybe next season, but he still most likely will get traded. Alright guys, that's what I got. Thank you for listening. Please remember, like, subscribe, comment down below whether you agree or disagree, and share the video. I appreciate it. So until next time, remember, be practical, be purposeful, get fit with a purpose, guys.
There's Uzis in our schools. Every dude who touched a boob or a booty getting me too. What you expect from the kids who went to Hooters after school? We're all triggered and defensive. We're all racist and we're sexist. We all grew up watching South Park. How are we offended? Now being fat is beautiful. Name a thing that you can't do. Jumping jacks, run a mile, live past 42. Man, it used to be cool to just flip a bird to the system, and now it's trendy to be triggered and pretend you're a victim. It's my race, it's my weight, it's because I'm a Christian. I hate the internet and anyone who has an opinion. And everybody angry if you say white. Okay, fine. Pass me the brush and I'll paint my face to the shades right. Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird. People are so stupid.